Hello and welcome to QuestLore, a family Lorcana podcast where each and every week we come and talk to you about all things Lorcana. I'm Matt.
I'm Malcolm. I'm Emmett.
And I'm Jen.
Okay, so even though I believe I made a mention that there's no way we were going to miss last week, we missed last week.
Completely forgot. It was like Sunday night
Yeah.
when we realized, after we played Lorcana, that we realized we forgot to do it.
The kids were on spring break last week and they were full on doing activities, even though their school activities weren't going on. They didn't have play practice, but they had plenty of other activities.
I'm so chocolate right now.
Emmett, what do we say about not interrupting?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Anyways, we had tons of stuff going on. The kids had a bunch of fun. You guys have a good spring break?
Yeah. The two of us both went to the museum. And
We don't need to make all of the details.
And
Yes, we had a good spring break.
Other than Emmett getting sick right before spring break.
Yeah.
But
they still had a good time.
Yeah.
But since then, we've been wandering around on Archazia's island.
Archazia's island. It came out already.
That's true. While we stumble around the island, which seems to be decorated in heavy tones of sapphire, there has been
so much sapphire.
there have been little things that have been happening in the greater world of Lorcana. So, first off, GameStop has started doing some days where you're supposed to be able to go in and play with other people.
Wasn't that supposed to be this past Sunday and we forgot about it?
Well, it's not so much that we forgot about it. So I looked into it deeper. So there was a GameStop near us that was doing it on Sunday, kind of right before our league. And I had thought to check it out. And then some people talked to some GameStop employees at places that were having them. And basically, there's nothing. It's not like really organized or anything. There's no promos. You're not going to get any pins for going. There's no reward for winning. There's no pay to play. It's just supposed to be a time set aside for Lorcana people to go in and just play against each other. So you're just hoping some other people show up and just play against them.
But GameStops don't have tables to play board games at.
And there's another issue. Several did not have tables. They did not know that this was going on. They didn't have any space to do this. GameStop is in a weird place right now. Because things are going more and more digital, and there's kind of the why do we need a GameStop of it all. They
almost went out of business, didn't they?
Yes. They have long just relied on people trading in games for small amounts of money and then selling those used games for large amounts. But as people get more and more comfortable with eBay, that whole model doesn't really work. And then as people get more and more comfortable with doing to digital, that model doesn't work at all because there is no game to turn in. So as we continue to move away from that, GameStop's trying to figure out itself. So they're doing these trading card game days. I guess they've done it for Pokemon in the past, but it's the same thing. They're just setting aside time for people to go in and play with other people in Lorcana. I think this might actually be good if you don't have a local game store in your area and you're looking for people to play Lorcana. Hey, here's another place you can meet up, as long as they've actually invested in buying a table.
Sure. Bring your own.
Bring your own table, BYOT, to your local GameStop. Set it up
chairs.
And say, hey, I'm here for Lorcana. I'm sure they will be super cool with it.
I'm sure they'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they will be super, super cool. So that's going on. If anything ever changes with that, where they get actual things and reasons for you to go, like a special promo or something, I'll go and check it out. But we are fortunate enough to have plenty of local game stores around us that we can go and play at. In other news for Lorcana, they did hire a new tournament vice president, manager of tournaments. I don't remember his title, but it's a guy that's supposed to be dedicated to organizing tournaments for Lorcana. So he's got a long back history in esports tournaments.
Okay.
So he does have some kind of experience with organizing gaming tournaments of some kind. So hopefully this is the first step towards anything happening over here. We know of some bigger events happening in China and Japan coming up next month and in the summer. though those are going to be like a couple sets behind us. I think they'll be on set 3 when those happen, or maybe set 4.
Right.
So they're not at the same area that we're at. And there's a big event in Ravensburg, Germany, where the winner gets a trip to Disneyland, or Paris, Disney World Paris, Disneyland Paris. I don't know. The one that's over there. They get a trip for 2 there if they win. But no like Disney Lorcana challenges, no worlds. All stuff we are still kind of waiting for.
Yep.
So hopefully we get some news from them soon now that they've hired some people in places.
And you never know, maybe they hired them to makes their own gaming platform, like online gaming platform that we've been looking for. Or
Well,
in charge of that, maybe
They've
too.
supposedly been hiring up for that too,
Okay.
to get a digital client going. Besides the hidden secret ones that everyone pretty much knows about, probably including them. Just there's like strict rules like, hey, do not host a tournament on this, do not stream this, do not make money off of this of any kind.
Yep.
Basically, so that people don't, so that they get less likely to get shut down. So that's out there. But for the most part, we've been having some fun playing some Lorcana on Archazia's Island. So I think talking from when the last time we were able to get together and chat, the big thing that me and Malcolm went and did was a big 40-person Chapter 1 box tournament at a new store near us. Malcolm, what did you play? That was your first time actually playing Archazia's Island cards.
Oh, yeah.
So how was it?
Great.
Right, yeah.
Riveting information.
Like, what are you playing? Are you playing something different? What kind of
So,
deck is it?
I actually went away from Amber, Amethyst, Aggro. I know, crazy. And I decided to play Chana Pops,
Turtle dogs.
which is also aggro.
But what colors?
But it's Emerald, Amber,
So,
and so...
why don't you explain what the Turtle Dogs deck like has in it for those that don't know?
So, you number 1 are running the 1-drop Lady and the 2-drop Tramp. The 1-drop Lady gets +1 lore when Tramp is in play, and when Lady's in play, the Tramp costs 1 less. So you play those 2 together. You have like all your classic aggro stuff with like some others like 0-4, and then you play Rapunzel to like try to draw cards. You have the 7-drop Tramp, which costs 1 less for each character you have in play. And then when you play him, you draw that many cards and discard that many cards of how many characters are in play. And then you also play Chernabog. So you put a bunch of characters in your discard after using Tramp, and then you play Chernabog.
Yeah, so it's basically a very, very fast aggro deck. You're just flooding the board, and then once you've got enough characters over your discard, you bring out the big Chumbawamba and Chernabog, and he just starts wailing on all the other characters while you're throwing down more threats to get more lore. It's a kind of good deck. It runs pretty well. I think it fits Malcolm's style some. And it's been doing decent.
It seems to be pretty popular too.
Yeah, well, at our place, at
Yeah.
our local store, there were like 4 people on it at any one time.
Yeah.
I think they need to change the name of the store to the Dog Pound. Actually.
Maybe that'll just be like our like name of like all of us that always show up, like our
Yeah.
the regulars. We will be the Dog Pound.
Sure, the Dog Pound, yeah.
Yes.
I hate it. In my wandering through the different sets, I'm a control player, and the enemy of control is aggro.
Yep.
I also played in the event. I was able to actually make the top 4 because they cut the top 4 from 40, so it was really hard event to top 4 into. But then they did seeding for the top 4, and since I didn't get the top seeds, and the top seeds were people that drew in, which is kind of an issue with how they had the tournament set up. It could have been set up a little bit better to not have that happen, because usually if you draw the final round to just get in, you're going to lose the top seed because someone's going to get a better record than you. Mm-hmm. But because they were only cutting to top 4 and they didn't have enough rounds really with 40 people, they only did 5 rounds instead of what should have been 6. Then what happened is that, the last 2 were able to just draw and they get first and second. So they didn't even have to play the last round and they get top seeds. So, and then that determined the order of play was by seed. So I made a top 4, but I wasn't in the top 2 seeds, which means I didn't win any of the die rolls. And I was playing against aggro in my top 4 match. And since
Turtle Dog specifically, right?
Yeah, Turtle Dog specifically, which while it's not, while it is can be a tough matchup, it's not impossible. Like if I get 2 cards, basically, I can beat them because if I drop I'm running Ruby Sapphire, right, and I drop a baby Sisu, take out one of their threats on what is turn 3 or my turn when I'm my 4 ink turn, basically, and then usually a turn or 2 later, I can shift big Sisu on top of it and pretty much wiped out almost everything they could possibly play.
Especially if you can get a bell out turn 1.
Well, I don't play with the bells on turn 1.
Oh, okay.
There's no room for it in that deck.
Okay.
They're going to have a harder time with Sapphire Steel and Steel Song. So my hope is in future ones that they run into those and they get wiped out by that. And then I'm just playing against more blue Sapphire stuff through the rest of the tournaments. So that was a good run there. We played a couple of times at our local game stores. Jen, how have you been playing lately?
So 2 weeks ago, I played really, really well. I went 2-1. Seemed to do really well. And, I really do like the additions that I've made, some of the changes that I've made to Seal Song. I did end up taking out my piglets. I'm sorry, Malcolm. I did.
It's fine. No, I'm the only one.
Put in Ursula's.
I have piglets.
Because Ursula's make more sense with Rapunzel. I traded out my Plutos for Bagheera, and I really like those, especially against aggro decks. Because if I can control it all and they have to take care of my Bagheera, that wipes their board. As long as they haven't won by turn 5. Which usually they can't because I am playing Cinderellas who can sing on turn 2. I am playing Ursulas that can sing on turn 3. Or run into something on turn 3 and then draw cards from Rapunzel on turn 4. So I like it a lot. I'm trying to think, what else new am I playing in there? Is it just the Bagheera?
I think it's just Bagheera.
Yeah.
You're not on the
but I did change out. I'm running the Queens. I think that the Queens against the current meta makes more sense than the Robin Hoods. Being able to shift on turn 2, sing Whole New World to mess up blue, or have a queen that can then sing something on turn 2 to get rid of the bell that's being put down. As long as Belle doesn't sing, or as long as this doesn't sing something on turn 2 to get rid of my card.
Sure.
Or as long as they don't play Fire the Cannons to get rid of my queen, like somebody did to me a couple times last week.
Well, that's what I was there for.
But that's okay because I still beat him.
Yeah.
So, because last week I went 1-2. I beat Matt, which I don't often do. So I was pretty happy about that. It was a very, very good match. All 3 games were close. And then I ended up losing the other 2. One was to Blurple.
Yeah.
And the other one was to a deck that's kind of built to go against Steel Song. And I don't remember what it was called. It was the one with the... I don't remember what you called it.
Kiwi birds?
Yeah, the Kiwi Birds one. That's what it was.
Yes.
So, I got 1 out of that. I lost 2-1 or 1-2, but the fact that I won one of those 3 games, I was pretty happy about because.
Yeah, that's definitely the mid-range version of blue steel. It's much more. We're just going to play kind of fast questing characters, and it's going to have Steel Song's going to have a hard time with it because it does have warded characters. It gives characters ward, and then it also has characters with a lot of their low-level characters have more than 3 willpower, so it's harder to snipe them out with a storm.
Sure.
So.
All right, Emmett, how about you tell us how you played on Sunday?
So
First, what are you playing now? Because we tried an evasive deck, right? Go ahead.
So I'm playing now, Malcolm Stacker.
Okay, so what is that?
Malcolm Stacker. Malcolm's old deck. Amethyst Amber. aggro.
Right, because you were trying evasive before and it ended up not really working really well, right? And so how did you play this last weekend?
I played fine.
Fine. Okay. Cool.
Riveting stuff. Riveting
Did
information.
did you like playing that aggro
Yeah,
deck?
I loved it.
Cool.
Also, other than when we didn't have Lorcana, we played a board game.
Yeah.
Oh, we
play
did, but we'll
board
talk
games.
about that later. Right now, we're just talking about Lorcana, okay?
I have no
So-
clue what he's talking about.
You know
That's
the
cool.
Disney game that we said was boring and we're probably never going to play again?
The
Oh.
blue thing.
So, there's this
But
board
anyway,
game.
anyway. So do you have anything else you want to talk about Lorcana? Okay, no. All right, he really wants to talk about this game. So what's the game called
The
again?
game called is I Am Glue, and let me just say,
Oh, that's right.
No, it's called the Groot Escape.
The
the
Groot
Glue
Escape.
Escape, and it's probably the most boring game ever.
That's
So what
most-
it is basically this. Everybody's a player. One of them's Glue. They can only say
Go ahead.
They can only say I am Glue. So, and try to get the item, but it's just so boring.
So it's hold on a minute, because you're kind of using weird words to explain it. All right.
Yes.
It's basically a mix of code names and charades. So instead of giving one word names, you have to give charades, and you can only say I am Groot. But the problem is that most of the things that you could pick are really easy to demonstrate charade wise. So there's never any like worry that someone's going to cover a bad space or get a question wrong. It's just it was no challenge to it, and it was just like this is pretty boring. There's no thought behind it. You're not trying to get multiple pictures like you do in code names. Like in code names, you're trying to get multiple ones at the same time. But here it's just one at a time. The charades are like really obvious, and it just not that great of a game. So if you see it in the store, we're going to recommend that you.
I would
pick it
pass.
up. Yeah.
Pass
But we
on-
played. But since I was so boring, we got out another Disney. This one actually Disney. It's called What Do You Mean? So
we probably
it's just like basically you
It's
get
What Do
three
You Mean,
cards
but
and make
Disney
them-
version.
Yeah, it's like an apples to apples or one of those types of matching games where you got one thing and you give it to a person and they pick the funniest one or the one that they like the best. It's fine. It's not. It's probably my least favorite version of those types of games.
And our favorite meme is #bacon.
But you didn't pick it. You didn't pick it. Like I gave that to you to win the game because you're like, this is the favorite one. This one always wins, and then you didn't pick it. So
You did
it's
not
not.
pick it.
You can't say that anymore.
#bacon.
And then you didn't pick it. That was such a good, like,
You sit on lies. You are a liar and a
Liar.
dirty thief.
you're a thief. Because Dad, you ended up winning the game anyway.
I could have
No,
won
we
it by
tied.
more. Yeah, I tied. You stole the game from me. I should have won.
You know, fine.
That's true.
You know, actually, I deserved it to you because you picked mine with the Joe's Pizza thing.
Yeah. And so you should have given me this one. Even though you didn't know it was mine, it was clearly the best one out of that
It was
lot.
like 1,000% the best one. Because it was a Snow White that looked like this.
I'm
And
pretty
it
sure
was like, hashtag bacon!
I'm pretty sure that's when she's like dying in the movie.
Yeah, probably. But
But
But it was very
also we watched the new Pixar show on that same exact night.
We watched one
One
episode of
episode.
We'll
it.
talk about it when we finish the show.
yeah.
It's called Win or Lose.
What did I just
So-
say?
Emmett, remember how we talked about like I will lead us into each topic? So you've wrestled control of the show for me, and now you are leading us into each topic.
Okay,
None of
and
which
that is
are
why
Lorcana related.
I stole the microphone. That and because he kept coughing right into it.
I'm sad.
Stop talking into my microphone.
Okay. So, anyways, it's been interesting trip around Archazia's island so far. Obviously, the big one that you're always going to have to face is a Sapphire deck, right? You've got the Steel Sapphire decks, and you've got the Red Sapphire decks. Occasionally, you find a Rogue Green and Sapphire deck out there. They're not very good.
No. Blurples are coming, making a little bit of a comeback.
There's like a couple of diehards, like Blurple's still great, and I just, I'm not a, I don't think it will run well against Red Blue, and that's really the one you probably got to watch out for most. I was trying Steel Sapphire, I've tried Steel Song, and the problem is Hiram. Neither of those decks have an instant answer for Hiram that doesn't require at least 2 cards.
This is my deck.
Sapphire,
only-
I have Cinnabar.
Sapphire,
Only Ruby does.
Steel. Yeah, because you're not because in Sapphire Steel you're not going to play the little Sisu.
Nope, you
And
can't.
it doesn't fit in that deck. It only fits in Ruby.
Because it's a Ruby card.
Wait.
Oh, I thought. Oh, it is a Ruby card. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, so if you're playing, so Steel it. Yeah, you have to play Ruby in order to have anything.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're either using 2 cards, like us. You have to use both Zeus and another one to get
Or
rid of it.
you have
6.
6 cards out and play Strength.
Yeah. In which case, you probably are close to winning anyway.
Yes.
Wait. Can we talk about how Tipo killed my Chernabog?
There was. So I ended up playing against Malcolm. I went 1 and 2 on this past Sunday. It was funny. Like me and one of the better players in the store have joked about for months that we never play each other. Both of us will go 3-0. We only play 3 rounds and then we stop. We'll both go 3-0, but we just never get matched up. And basically, this is the first time we've been matched up in at least, I think, 5 to 6 months.
Yeah, probably. And it was only because you both lost.
And because we both lost. So we figured it out. In order for us to play each other, we both have to lose.
Yeah.
And we could just grab decks and play against each other for fun anyways. But we're both always playing controls, so none of us finish early. Unless we're playing one of the kids. Because whether we win or they win, it's going to go fast.
Yeah.
I think, though, me and M. Malcolm went for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Well,
because you went 1-1 first.
We went 1-1 first. And the games took a little longer because I wasn't getting out the removal I needed. I was getting out just 1 at a time removals, no sweepers. But one time, he got out a Chernabog, right? And
So the Chernabog took out the Hiram and I think something else, so it had 2 damage.
yeah, it had 2 damage on it for some reason. I don't remember how I got the other one. And then what happened is I had a little Tipo that I'd had out there since turn 2. This little Tipo, he's standing there. He's standing tall.
A small child.
He's standing tall. He's just been putting in some work. He's been questing a little bit. Sometimes he'll just go and whack some guy, right, and then just come back, and he's just standing there. He's just been standing there the whole time. So I play a couple of Last Cannons. Last Cannon is a steel item. You banish it. You pay an ink, and all of a sudden you can give a person Challenger +3. So I had 2 of them. And I banished both of them, paid the ink. That little Tipo, he hit for 7 now. And that Tipo, he just walked up to that Chernabog and he punched him right in the nose. The Chernabog fell to the ground. It was like, that's the greatest Tipo has ever been. You go, Tipo. You punch him in the nose.
I still don't like Tipo, but that just made it even worse.
And it's so funny because I'm playing across the room and then I just hear them laughing. He goes, see? Look what Tipo did! They're both just laughing. How? And Emmett Malcolm's like, how did you kill my Chernabog with Tipo? And we're all just looking like, what?
It was fun. Probably the funnest game I've had all week.
Yeah.
What was that? And that's the most important part. I had fun at other games and there were good matchups. Back and forth. That's where I figured out my game against the other really good player. He was playing red-blue, I was playing blue-steel, and I was like, oh, this is really hard for blue-steel. Because I don't have an answer for Hiram.
Yeah.
The rat can just eat as many popsicles as he wants. He's going to eat at least 2 of them.
Yep.
And probably even more because it takes so much for me to get rid of him.
Yep.
And if I use the big stuff to get rid of him, I can't get rid of their big sharks or dragons or shiny crabs. Right, so.
Shiny.
But it was a fun game. Just when you have those fun moments where you can do kind of fun stuff. Like yesterday to one of the matches I had, I was back playing blue-red, and I was playing against another blue-red player. And he was feeling fairly confident because he had a big Tamatoa and a dime on board, as well as some other characters. So it was
Any other
take
items
a lot.
though?
Yeah, a ton of items. He was going to win the next turn. He was like, even if you get rid of this, I've still got the dime. I'm going to play another thing, and I'll get it off the dime. And I had a dragon and a Maui on board, right? Or even I think it was a Grammatala. So I quested with the Grammatala, and then I only had so much ink, right? I only think I had the 9 ink that I could possibly have. So I ended up having the dragon sing Be Prepared, wipe out his board and my board. And then I had enough ink to play Kuzco and hide his dime into his inkwell, completely ruining like his entire game plan of winning. And he was only on like 1 or 2 cards left, so it was like at that point I just completely retook control of the game. It was a cool move. Everyone, it was funny because we were the last ones playing, so everyone was watching like, oh my god, like how like they thought the game was over, and then I just completely retook control. So. Good times.
That's crazy. Because I mean, and especially because that's the thing. Like, if you have a way to get rid of the dime, then it can come back with Tamatoa. But if it's in your ink,
Yeah, it's
it
staying
ain't
there.
coming back.
Yeah. You have to hope I somehow snuck an ink geyser into it, but that's a blue-green
Yeah.
card, so not going to happen. So it's been fun playing. We've got less than 2 months left of this set. Like Reign of Jafar comes out at the end of May.
The Reign of Jafar.
No. You're singing it wrong. It should go, The Reign of Jafar. That is
The Reign of Jafar.
Yeah, that's pretty
Right.
much how it goes. There were actually, it was funny. So because this is the week of April Fools, right? There was someone that went and made fake Lorcana cards.
Oh, really?
And they looked okay. They weren't perfect. If you really look closely at them, you could see that the backgrounds on the Lorcana cards were other cards already in the set. Stop trying
sure.
to call the cat over here.
I'm
I can
not.
See,
I'm not. No, I was telling him to stop touching his mic and playing with it.
oh, I thought you were trying to call the cat. Now you're calling the cat. Now you're literally calling the cat.
I was before, but now I'm not.
Oh, we're calling the cat.
Yeah, but not right this second when you accused me of it.
I wasn't acting like that set. Anyways.
Anyway, so they were
someone
fake
made
cards.
some fake cards,
Sure.
right? And they were okay looking. They weren't like took me about half a second to look at it. Like, yep, those are fake. And someone literally asked me while I was playing, "Hey, did you see the new Lorcana cards?" I'm like, "You mean the fake ones?" It's like, yesterday was April Fools. So it caught some people, but if you've Emmett's still getting over a cough. If you have seen any of the cards floating around that say they're from Reign of Jafar, they are not. The only card that has been revealed for Reign of Jafar is the Iago one that's coming with for the D23 members. That is the only one that has been announced at all. No other cards. Those are all.
Did you buy that
fake.
membership yet?
Yeah.
Good.
So if you think you see cards, you didn't. If you saw a card with the Jafar genie on it, it was not that. There is not a Mim alligator. There is not a Merlin seal. None of those exist. Those are fake. So
But there is an Oswald.
yes, there is
Stop
one
playing
Oswald
with
deck.
stuff.
He had his moment in the sun for about 2 weeks, and now that deck is pretty much gone.
Yep.
But who knows when it will strike back at
Sure.
any time.
It was something we were talking about earlier about, just about the fact of it being fun is the whole point of it. And I just wanted to say, one of my favorite things that when I was playing Matt last Sunday, and I had just whole new worlded, and he's looking at. I have a little queen out. I have a little Cindy out, and he's looking at them both and goes, all right, she's got to have one of the shifts in her hand. Which one does she have? He goes for the queen. I was like, I literally had all 3 of my shifts in my hand. So I had the Ariel shift, and I had the queen shift, and I had the Cindy shift. So it really didn't matter what he did. And he goes, man, I guessed wrong. I'm like, no, I had both.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh. And he spent like a long time thinking too. He's like sitting there for like a whole 2 minutes, just looking at his hand, thinking about it. Okay, like she's more likely to have the queen. She runs 4 of them. She's like talking it through, and I'm just like, I got them both. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, which means I should have went down for the Cinderella, but that's more of an issue.
And it
could've
was,
taken out
and
the
that's
queen
probably
earlier.
what won me the game.
Yeah, I was also I was just having fun on Sunday.
Yeah.
Not to speak anything about how you played. You played great.
Thanks.
Like there was one play where I she's got Bagheera out, and I've got this Kuzco in my hand that's normally just pointless in this match. But it has that resistibility that I never use. So I'm gonna play weird just so I can play this Kuzco and use its resistibility and mitigate the damage that her Bagheera would do.
Yeah.
And so I did all this to do it. I probably wasted a ton of ink, but I was like, I did it, and so now it's fun. And I'm glad that I used Cusco and I used his special ability. That
And got
no
rid
one
of
else uses.
Bagheera and only took 1 damage instead of 2.
Yeah.
Which it saved your Tipo, your child.
That's right. Shape Tipo.
Saved Tipo. Because otherwise your child would have died.
I'm determined now that Tipo is going to quest for victory in every game I play from now on. Tipo is my mascot. Tipo is my guy. He's my good time boy.
In fact, every time I kill Tipo, he is like personally offended by it. He goes, "Why are you killing? That is my child. That is our child. Look, it looks like Emmett. What are you doing?"
Tipo is Emmett with dark hair. Okay, that's Tipo. If they
That's
have
true.
a live action Emperor's New Groove,
Emmett would play Tipo.
Emmett could play Tipo.
You just have to dye his hair
All right.
black. What do you
And
think,
so
Emmett?
it's not my fault you keep striking him with lightning or letting him freeze in a blizzard
Yes.
or sending a ton of guys to kick him in the face. Right?
With those shit double.
All those
I'm setting a cannon.
I just
I
want
wish I had
you
cannons.
to think about the fact that that's what you did to your own son. Is
even
you
throw
hired an
a sword
army
at
of
him.
gentlemen to kick him in the face.
But
A bunch of Asian businessmen came up to him and just kicked him in the face.
At least we know it wasn't Winnie the Pooh then, Malcolm.
Well, no, it can't be Winnie the Pooh because
He doesn't know how to run a business.
Anyways, so before we get to trivia time,
Yes.
we,
trivia
No, it's
time.
not.
it's literally not. I literally said before we get to trivia time.
Oh, child.
We did have someone comment on a YouTube video when
Yay, we got comments. Thank you.
just to clarify the fact, he questioned whether or not some of the Disney references we throw out. Like you mentioned, like Kronk doesn't even know which lever to pull. Did you guys get that reference?
What do you mean?
Yes.
The wrong lever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that from? What's Kronk from?
Emperor's New
New
Groove.
Yeah, just showing off your Disney talent that you guys
Pull
know a
the
ton
lever,
about.
Malcolm.
Like, seriously, like, it's pretty
Is that
crazy
we
how
get rid of
good
Emmett
at...
and just pretending to pull the wrong lever?
Nice. Yes, these boys are like, it's not a show like that, you know, we're like giving them the answers ahead of time. They are actually, is he stuck?
Oh, bother.
Oh, bother.
Not helping.
Try to get down.
All right,
All
I'm
right,
gonna get up so he can
I'll
get
let him
down.
figure it out.
But no, these kids actually
bother.
are, you know, they are really good at trivia. Like, they've seen pretty much every Disney movie at least once.
Except for those horrible sequels.
Yeah, I think that I'm pretty sure the only Disney movie that I can think of that they haven't seen up to this point is Hunchback
Brother Bear.
and Brother Bear. Those are the only two. We're getting there, like, because so a couple years ago we started. They decided they wanted to watch every animated film from beginning to end, and like that's what we did one summer. And then school started when we hit, I think, Fox and the Hound.
Something like that.
And then we kind of fell off. And then we just kind of every once in a while we'll watch another one. And so the most recent one we've watched is Oliver and Company. We watched a couple weeks ago. So so I think like and some of the movies that they hadn't watched, like when a new character came into Villainous. And we the agreement was if that character won, we watched that movie.
Yeah.
And so we were doing that for a while, for like that first year that Villainous was out.
Well,
We
you
were playing
see-
it all the time. So we watched all four of us watched the Black Cauldron for the first time.
Yeah.
After we played that and that character won. We all watched.
I mean,
That's when we watched Emperor's New Groove for the first time. And then Emmett was a little bit obsessed with it for a little bit. Emmett kind of gets that when he watches a film and decides he likes it, that's all he watches for like 2
like
weeks.
that happened with Emperor's New Groove, and that's how I do all the Emperor's New Groove questions.
Yes, and all the Emperor's New Groove characters. Like, that's how he knows all that.
Stupid Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky.
Anyways,
Get the love, Bucky.
Yeah,
You're being
they-
too loud of it.
they get most of the references that we're giving. Maybe if we start talking about High School Musical or
All
something,
in this together.
they might get some of it, but not all of it.
Like, zombies, they know better than us.
Yeah, but
Descendants, they know better than us, but
if they get to Descendants and zombies inside Lorcana, that might show that we're too old for it. Yeah. And then, and also, yeah, Toodles with a face is horrifying. Someone made that comment. He is horrifying. It's when it's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is the animated one from about 10 years ago now. That is when they jumped the shark when they gave Toodles a face.
agreed.
When he had a face and Rob Paulson was voicing him. Nothing against Rob Paulson. Just Toodles does not speak. He just does work. He provides you with mystery mouse tool that will help you.
And that's why he should be an item and not a character.
Yes, he should be an item. If he's a character, there will be revolting.
We are
revolting children.
No, no.
Revolting time. We say.
No, stop.
revolting songs.
Trademarks.
You
Copyrights.
All right, good copyrights.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, it is on Disney Plus.
It still doesn't.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's on Netflix. So
Yeah,
sorry, it is on
Netflix.
Netflix.
Not even the right.
And that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're not like
I know.
officially endorsed by Disney.
You're right, we aren't. Oh my
No.
god. The cats are, I don't know if they can hear it at all, but the cats are playing with our wooden like blinds and it's very loud and very funny.
I mean, it's loud. I don't know about funny.
It's funny.
Anyways, let's move on to trivia.
Now you can say it.
It's trivia time.
You are so loud.
I'm like holding it like a foot away from his face, Matt.
It never goes over into the red until Emmett starts stuff.
And this is why, by the way, when they are doing musicals, like the mic guy knows Emmett and knows to keep his microphone lower than everybody else's.
Yeah. All right, let's hit up trivia. I got a good feeling about this one. So let's start off with how many children,
7.
maybe not this first one, how many children do Bambi and Feline have?
I want to say at least 5.
You got so loud of it.
I want to say at least 5.
4.
3.
2. Twins.
If it was 7, I was about to be so mad.
What about, I think they had another 2 in Bambi 2.
I agree. So,
I'm going to make that up.
Bambi's 2.
I mean,
The
this
return
is
of
all it
Bambi's.
says.
Of
I
return of
can't-
the
It's
hunter.
fine, whatever.
Bambi 2. The return of the hunter.
It's
Like,
been
they're
at least,
the deer, not the bunnies, though, right? Like they don't have
know.
that many kids.
I know, but they have them like over a couple of years. So
Bambi
that's
2.
okay.
The return of the hunter.
Okay.
Okay.
Where Mother Deer dies.
Oh my gosh.
In Cars 2,
Ugh.
which character goes on an exciting adventure
Mater.
after being
Okay, it's
mistaken as a spy?
It's Mater. Okay, that one's easy. Because that's like the literal thing. Like, that's the whole point of the movie.
His
What,
full name
uh,
is Tow Mater.
Tow Mater, yes. I know
What?
that. Of Tow Mater being mistaken as a spy. That's the whole point of that movie.
What does the pirate Ragetti constantly lose in the Pirates of the Caribbean films?
Eyeball.
His fake wooden eye.
Left or right?
It's his right.
Left.
His right.
It's
yes.
his right.
His
Because
right.
it's on the left when you're watching the movie.
In The Little Mermaid,
Mm-hmm.
what are the names of Ursula's 2 pet eels?
Oh, that's so easy, guys.
Diablo and Kronk.
All right, say it, Malka. Emmett.
Flotsam and jetsam, now I've got 'em, boys. The boss is on along.
So it's Flotsam and Jetsam.
These poor.
All right,
right.
no more singing.
Copyright.
No, it's Iago and Diablo.
Sure. What movie takes place in a city
Spider-Man.
called Monstropolis?
I think it's Guardian of the Galaxy.
All right, can you just say the right answer?
Yeah, Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. That's right.
And
Monsters
And
University.
Monsters University as well.
thank you. Just want to make sure that you completed the answer. Yes. Good card for you guys, except for thinking that Bambi and Feline have a million kids.
I said 4.
I said 7.
Once you get more than 2, it's the same. That brings us to a close. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching.
We will miss next week because these boys play opens next Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
So unless we happen to have time on Friday, because we are letting these kids skip school on Friday, not really skipping, they're performing in a show during the day for school field trips. But if we have time on Friday, we might do a podcast, but there's a good chance we will not. We usually say we might, and then we don't.
Unless there's a ton of news or something that comes out, I would plan on
Like,
listening.
if they announce half the college just falls late.
Anything.
yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. It's going to be weird because Set Championship doesn't start until May.
Yeah.
So they'll be releasing all those cards while everyone's playing in the Set Championships and talking about the new cards. So I guess maybe the people will be hyped for it. But anyways, thank you again for watching and listening. Please like, follow, subscribe, rate, leave reviews. Whatever you choose to interact with your media, interact with us that way. Tell your favorite goddaughter about us. I'm sure she will enjoy the show.
Tell your neighbors that you think have kids that like Disney.
This is my bit.
Wow.
Don't tell
My
Bucky.
bit.
Don't tell Bucky.
If you have a kid named Bucky,
No,
Wait till
don't do
you.
anything about. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to end the show now.
Sure.
Thank you once again. We will see you next time on QuestLore.
Bye.
make with the events of the Dragon Fall Lorcana!
Bye.